Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic of lecture is lists in data structure. Uh, why lists, or why we need a list? In daily life we came across with many types of lists like shopping lists. We make lists for some items of list. uh, Different of type list in daily routine we create. Okay, why we create a list? It is an easy way to store items in a very easy manner. Most simple and effective way to store things is a list. Shopping list is a example of the list. Work very well for the following. Small size of list items does not require any ordering of items. Typically, no search is required, and processing is typically done in order items are added to the list. ओके लिस्ट हम क्या है और हम क्यों इस डेटा स्ट्रक्चर को प्रेफर करते हैं ओवर एरेज. लिस्ट जो है इट इज़ अ वेरी इफ़ेक्टिव वे टू स्टोर थिंग्स. ये भी एक डेटा स्ट्रक्चर ही है, ठीक है. स्मॉल साइज़ ऑफ लिस्ट आइटम्स हम डेली रूटीन में बनाते रहते हैं. लिस्ट को सर्च करना इजी है. जैसे डेली लाइफ में हम एक लिस्ट किसी आइटम्स की क्रिएट कर लेते हैं तो उसको सर्च करना आसान होता है एज़ कम्पेयर टू सम अदर डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. So we can add more items to the list very easily. So these are some points in favor of lists. Okay, defining a list. List है क्या, ठीक है. कंप्यूटर साइंस में या कंप्यूटर डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में what is meant by the list? Linked list is an ordered collection of elements called nodes which has two parts. Linked list क्या है? Actually it is the collection of nodes. Nodes and every node has two parts. हर nodes के दो parts होंगे, ठीक है. और ये क्या है? आपके पास collection of nodes है. Okay, first part is known as the data part or info part, and the next part and the second part is known as a next part. The data or info part contains information which we want to store in the list, and the next field or the next part of the node contains actually the link for the next incoming node. So the data part contains elements, and the next contains address of the next node. Here you can see in the figure this is a list. Here there are three nodes in this list, and here head is a variable or a pointer which is pointing to the first node in the list. Data field contains data, and next will contain the address of the next node. Okay, the last node in the list will contain null in its next, as if the node is last, so its link field or its next field will contain no address, so it is null. So this is the basic structure of the list, right? Okay, here we compare list with arrays with different aspects, with the aspect of size, with respect to the aspect of storage capacity, ordering and sorting, and these are some factors which we discuss both in array and linked list. So first is size. Now you can see in the table that array has fixed number, right? When we declare an array, we define the structure of the array first. We say the size of the structure at the time of declaration. Linked list grow and contract sense of insertion and deletion. Maximum size depends on a heap. लिंक लिस्ट जो है वो उसका साइज कांस्टेंट नहीं रहता है, वो ग्रो एंड श्रिंक करता है. व्हेन यू ऐड एन एलिमेंट टू द लिस्ट इट ग्रोज, व्हेन यू डिलीट एन आइटम फ्रॉम द लिस्ट इट what it will delete it, right? Okay, next thing is the, so we discussed array versus linked list with the storage capacity. So the storage capacity of array is static, its location is allocated during compile time. Okay, when you declare an array in your program, so some space has been allocated to the array at the time of compilation. However, the linked list is a dynamic data structure. Its node is allocated during runtime. So we say that storage capacity is static. You cannot increase the size of the array after the during runtime, but you can increase the size of the list during your runtime. Okay, order and sorting. Stored consecutively. Array stored the elements consecutively. However, linked list stored the items in randomly. Means array will store the items all in consecutive locations. Whereas the linked list items are stored randomly. One node will be in one location and the second node of the same list may be in other location of the memory. They will not contiguous, they will not consecutive. Okay, accessing the elements in array is direct or random access method is used to in array by specifying the array index or subscript. We need a subscript variable, a subscript like index 0, 1, 2, 3 to access the elements of the array. However, accessing elements in the array in the linked list is sequential method. We have to access every node in the list if we want to reach to a specific node in the list, right? Suppose you want to access the node 10, so before 10 nodes 9 nodes you have to access. So this is a sequential method, right? Searching, we can apply binary search and linear search algorithm in array, but list allowed only linear search method. We will discuss searching methods, binary search and linear search later on in our incoming lectures, then you will understand. So this was a little comparison of the array with the linked list, right? Now suppose this is a list. We draw here a list structure. Every list will have some nodes, right? Like this. You can see this, right? And every node is divided into two parts, info part and link part. We may call it a data part और नेक्स्ट पार्ट, ठीक है. हर नोड के दो पार्ट्स होंगे, इन्फो एंड लिंक. इन्फो विल कंटेन सम इंफॉर्मेशन, इंफॉर्मेशन, ठीक है. एंड लाइक ए बी like this, right? And suppose the address of this node in the memory is 100, and suppose the address of this node is 200, and suppose the address of the third node is 300, right? So this here there will be a pointer known as head or start, and this will contain the address of the first node like this 100, so it is pointing to the first node. Okay, the head node will contain the address of the next node, so in this case the address is 200, so here in the link 200, so it will point to this node, right? And here the address of the second node is 200, which we have stored in the first link. Now the address of the third node, which is 300, it is stored in this next part, or a link part of the second node. And the last node is contained what? Null, because it is pointing to nothing. Null means pointing to nothing. So this is a list. It is created in the memory in such a way, right? Okay, info will contain information. So info will contain information. Info of आपके पास चूँकि पॉइंटर या स्टार्ट या हेड जो है वो आपके पास क्या है? इन्फो, आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन ए है, बी है और सी है, और लिंक्स क्या है आपके पास? 200, 300 and for the first node that is 100, right? This is head node and this one is a tail, right? Tail node. We call it a tail node. So this is the structure of the list and it is maintained in a memory likewise, right? Okay, in an upcoming lecture we will discuss operations on the linked list.